Hey, it's Lisa Pressman here. I wanted to show you one of my favorite drawing materials, and it's called Viarco, and actually the name is Art Graph. And what it is compressed charcoal or graphite. The company calls them Taylor chalks, so they're based on Taylor chalks. What's great about them is that you can use them as a drawing material. They come in different colors, so there's the darks, there's graphite and black, and then there's earth colors, which is what I have here. And then there's also primary colors, which I only have one of the reds of the primaries. And so you can draw with it dry, but what's really nice is that they are water soluble. So you can get some really nice effects and water it down when you're drawing with it. You know, you can thin it down. It goes from opacity to transparency. There's the dark black, but I just infected it with some red. Let's see. This is this beautiful yellow ochre color. And then, let's see if I can clean my brush in between. And then here's the bright primary red. So you can buy them separately, or you can buy them in sets. Besides using them as drawing materials, I combine them with my paintings. So the first one I want to show you is using it with encaustic. What's great about it with encaustic is you can draw right on the encaustic and get a pretty nice clean line with it. And so I'm just drawing on it. The painting is kind of cool at the moment. It's cool. The wonderful thing is when you go to fuse it, actually let's show it to you before I fuse it. So there it is. When I fuse it, it retains its line. So it's not like when you're using carbon paper, it spreads. This retains its line. So I use this with encaustic actually when I start, I'll draw with them. I use it between my medium layers. I use it between layers, and then I use it as a finishing layer, as a finishing touch on my paintings. And I don't put medium on it because it doesn't move, which is really great. So you really get that nice, clean line. The other thing that's kind of fun to do with it is I'm just gonna make some more lines. This is this carbon dark, just like this. And then clean my brush a bit. It's got some red on it. When you use water on the encaustic, it acts like ink does. So it beads up, moves around. Here, let's even use it with the water. Now you can really see it too. So it makes it darker when you use the water. And then I'm going to fuse it. And what will happen is that it beads up just like Indian ink would. Now if I turn it, it's definitely going to flow a little because it's still wet. You know, so I could get a little bit of dripping going on. So that's how I use it with encaustic. If you don't like it, you can always scrape it off. I use a razor blade, so I can just scrape through it. I can cover it up and then cover it with medium, cover it with paint, pull back, and the line will be there. So it's a great drawing material with encaustic. The other way you can use it is when I'm painting with oil or oil and cold wax. So this is a dry painting. You can even hear it's kind of dry. I can just go in there and make some lines or do a drawing if I wanted to. Right now I'm just going to make some lines. And then again, I could go in with water. And again, it'll look more like ink. course, I'm not going to fuse it, but I would just let it dry. Or I could add some interesting texture with it. Again, it acts like ink. And with a wet painting, I can just draw right through the wet paint to get my line. Because it cuts through the paint. There was a dry layer underneath. And now it's got a nice linear element to it. One of the other things you can do with these, you can use them almost like watercolor. So rather than drawing with them, I can just put my brush and my water in here and have it like a little palette and use them as like that, which is kind of fun. You get a different kind of brush stroke with it rather than putting it down. The other thing, of course, is you can dip it in the water and then draw with it. So there's a bunch of different ways to use this material, and I will put a link with this post. All right, well, have fun with the art graph. Thanks.